How to never make the same mistake again with mastering the art of reflecting. I'm Dr. Michael Lee, consultant here, and thank you so much for joining me today because, you know, how many of you have heard of the word reflection, right? It's this key word that so many people actually speak about. Oh, I need to reflect, need to reflect, need to reflect. But ultimately, a lot of people don't really truly understand what reflection is. So if you're joining today, and if you are, just put a live hashtag live, or if you're doing a replay, put hashtag replay, just so that I know that who I'm interacting with today. But ultimately, you've probably heard of reflection, and I'm just going to help teach you how to reflect the most effectively. I'm not going to say it's the right way, the wrong way, but it's the most effective way for me to help me learn so that I never make the same mistake ever again. Because just think about it, mistakes, yes. We've been brought up in schools not to ever make mistakes. Don't make this mistake. Don't make that mistake, right? But the fact is that, can you ever say to yourself that you'll never make a mistake again in the future? Of course you can't. We will always be making mistakes. But the real question is, are we aware of them? And are we willing to acknowledge them to then learn from them? Because remember, there are only two ways of actually learning here. First way is, yes, make lots of mistakes. Because that's how you're going to learn, right? Because there's this famous saying that experience is one of the greatest teachers in life. But the truth is, experience is the only teacher in life. Because remember, going to school is an experience. Going to university experience, learning from a mentor is an experience. Learning from your own mistakes is an experience. But the truth of the matter is this. If you do not learn from your mistake, it will keep happening over and again. So that's the first way of learning. The second way of learning is actually by learning from someone else that's made the mistake. And that's why we have mentors, we have coaches, the people that have already done the entire journey. They've almost created the path for everyone to follow. So it makes it really simple and easy because people just follow a step-by-step process for them to win. But that's the beauty of wisdom, the beauty of knowledge, the beauty of experience, because they think, okay, I did it that way and it really hurt me in these ways. So make sure you don't do it that way, just do it this way that was succeeded. And then, because I succeeded that way, if it happened for me, you can succeed too. And that's the beauty of mentorship as well, because the people that actually pay and see mentors, these are the people that they value time over money, right? And although I'm digressing a little bit off reflection here, because this is how I'm going to ask you to reflect on this. I know when someone values time and money. So the people that value money over time, they're the ones that will not buy anything to improve themselves, right? They won't buy anything that gives them a shortcut. They won't buy anything that speeds things up because they want to work things out themselves. And that's okay as well. I went through that journey. Yes, through my journey, it was maybe a bit different to everyone else's, but I studied 7 degrees. It cost me a lot of time, but I wanted to figure out how my body worked from head to toe so that I know that nothing will ever break down in the future. But that cost me time. Maybe I could have learned from other people, but then I wanted to understand it myself so then I could teach my way to other people around the world as well. But the thing is that the people that value money, they will prefer to spend time and not spend the money. That's why they will actually make their own mistakes. They will go and spend a lot more time studying lots of different things. And that's not a bad thing. The only problem is it takes a long time and there's suffering involved because there will be mistakes. The other type of person is the person that actually values time over money. They're happy to pay coaches, mentors to actually then go and say, actually, give me your lessons, give me the shortcut, and I'm going to get to where you are sooner rather than later. And those are people that value time because they're willing to pay the money to gain the time. And I actually call this the time tax. The time tax. Everyone needs to put down the time tax. The tax where you need to acquire knowledge through time. So everyone needs to get to destination B at some point. Everyone has similar goals, but ultimately to get there you need the knowledge anyway. And that only comes through the process of learning and reflecting. This is why I want you to reflect on it. Which one are you? Do you value time or do you value money? Put it into chat. I just want to know what type of person you are. Neither are actually right or wrong. It just comes down to how you're wired up. Yes, I used to value money more. That's why I spent more of my time to figure things out for myself. But now I value time more. I'm willing to pay down the time tax so that I acquire all the knowledge and then I can go and teach and I can go and live the life that I want to. But ultimately, this is why I want you to actually master reflection here. Because until you understand which one of those two you are, then you understand how you're going to function and what the decisions you're going to make moving forwards to. Because if you're one that values money, right, you're going to keep spending time. So all I want to ask you is, if you are going to spend more of your time, what are you going to spend your time doing? Because you will eventually run out of time. You're going to be one of those people that you are constantly running out of time. You run out of time every single day, every single week, and you just feel really under pressure because you've got so much to learn or so much to do, but you just don't have enough time. But I want you to be clear in terms of what your next step is. As soon as you know what it is, great, go and do it. But the other type of person is, if you are a person that values, if you value time and you want to pay down money, I want you to ask the question, who is the person I need to learn from to actually give me that time? Then you know what your next step is. But all you need to do is find a person that relates to you, that can connect with you. But I want you to make sure that you don't do the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity from Albert Einstein. I want you to be thinking that, oh yeah, I've done these things in the past, that got me these results. If I still want to get these results, I can just continue doing those things. But if you want different results, you've got to do something different. And that might be hanging out with a mentor, inquiring about what your next step is. But you need to know what your next step is, and you only can do that is by looking at the past. The past gives you all of the clues in terms of what you've achieved in your life, but what you failed upon as well. The things that you haven't achieved the success you want. But you ask the question, what have you not succeeded in, and why did you not succeed? As soon as you know why you have not succeeded in something, then you know what your next step is. A lot of people are still asking the question, oh, I got this result, that happened to me, but I don't know why it happened. And if you don't know why it happened, guess what happens? It happens again and again and again and again until they do figure it out. But these are the people that actually, they tend to get stuck in this loop, not just for weeks, not just for months, not just for years, some for decades, some for the rest of their lives. They don't actually change anything because they're unaware of seeing what the lesson is. But remember, the whole purpose of reflecting is step one: find the lesson. If you do not know what the lesson is, you will not know what the next step is, or how to learn from the lesson, because you don't know the lesson, you can't learn from it, right? So step one is find the lesson. The second step is how to learn from the lesson. So actually, the first step to that is, what's the first step of learning from the lesson, right? So what is the first action you need to take to learn from it? What is the thing that created that bad result? Now just think, what can I replace that action that doesn't give me the bad result, but gives me the good result? And now you're starting to reflect on, actually, this is my life, this is my practice, this is what I do in my life. What can I do now to stop the bad habits? Because remember, your entire life is just one big habit. If you can actually see your life under a microscope, say, all right, I do this over and over again, this is a habit. And you have to determine, are they good habits or bad habits? And as soon as you know what it is, if it's a bad habit, the question I'll ask you is, why are you still doing it? If it's a good habit, the question I ask you for that is, why would you stop? So just keep fine-tuning your life. And this is the art of reflection. If you can reflect well enough, you'll find out all of your bad habits, because remember, this is what Harv Eker says, how you do anything is how you do everything. If you have a bad habit in one area, you have a bad habit in lots of areas. If you can change that one bad habit by reflecting, and then change it into a good habit that will serve you well, guess what? You've created a better string of good habits that will give you a much better result. So this is where it comes down to making sure that you can recognize. The key word is recognize. Recognize the past, recognize the habits, reflect upon it, and then make sure you know what your next step is. If you're a person that values time, make sure what your next step is. If you're a person that values money, then ask yourself, who's the next person I need to spend my money with to give me that time back? Okay, so I hope that you found this session really helpful for you. Put in the chat what your next step is. What's the thing that you've learned from this session? And let me know what your next step is. What's the next action you need to take? So I can be accountable to you. You can be accountable to me too. But ultimately, I'm all about creating success habits, because I've treated so many Olympic athletes, celebrities, Premier League footballers, making sure that they operate at their best anytime, anywhere, in any environment. Now, this is the reason why I do have a program. If you wanted to know about it, or if you wanted to join it, it's a 10-day challenge where it gives you unlimited energy, but ultimately it gives you the success that you want. Because you can't manage time, you have to manage energy. if you want to know about that 10-day challenge, that gives it basically is a 10 days of me giving you all of the secrets in terms of what I help high performers consistently operate at their best. If you want to join that challenge, we do this every single month. And if you want to make sure you can implement those actions right now and gain your success, just put me in the chat and one of our team will get back to you, and they will let you know what the details are in terms of that challenge itself. Other than that, thank you so much for joining me today, and I wish you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and look forward to seeing you next Friday for the one just before Christmas. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.